Parshas Beshalach. Parshas Beshalach. We are heading into Shabbos Parshas Beshalach, Shabbos Shira. So let's take a look for a minute as to what's going on over here. What's the how events are taking place. So we have going into Mitzrayim. Then there's the 10 makkahs, which each and every one of them is designed to bring a certain awareness to one side and also another awareness to the other side. There is his galus happening on both sides. So the more revelation that's taken place, the more shifts and the more there is movement, because now choshech is starting to disappear, because once the truth is exposed, depending on the temperature and the vibration of the truth, that's the opposite side, the vibration of the other side, because the more there is exposure of truth, the more the other side has to start rescinding, surrendering, and just because the more light there is, the less shadow is visible. So we have by Makkah's B'chodesh, the 10th Makkah is where it was a whole thing, Chatzois, exactly 12, not exactly 12. But, technically speaking, the question I have is, why, who cares? He could have told them Chatzois, and, Makkah's B'chodesh happens, and then, it happened. What's the point? What different? Who is there, first of all, to argue? And whoever is there to argue, it happened. But we see something very specific, because there was a lot going on in the verbal. There was a lot going on, and there was a warning. There was a drei Wochen hat man gewohnt and prepare him, and there was a whole thing. So there was a lot happening. So it's something to think about. But where we want to go to is that by 12 o'clock is Chatzos Halal exactly is where it's in the center of the Chesed and the Gevurah. And right in the split second, that's where Creator exists, so to speak, and at its where it goes up to higher than any type of ishtalshalist, higher than any type of reasoning of this happens, so this happens, that happens. So all the way at 12 o'clock exactly, there is that moment, that nakuda, that is higher than anything. He goes above all the judgments and all the oppositions, and he does exactly as he wants to do, and he cracks that there's a split going, lightning coming down the center, and that brings it reverberates it all the way to the end, which means that there's awarenesses on both sides, on every side, and everything is happening around that from Chatzos Halayla. So at that time, he sends already. There's something on that too that they're talking about in this forum. What do you mean he sent? The Eibishter sent. What do you mean he sent? Fine. So we have the four elements. You have Eish, Ruach, Mayim, Afer. Fire, the wind, oxygen, Mayim, water, Afer, and earth. And everything is made out of these four elements. These four elements are put into an oxygenated tank, and this is how a human walks around, or any living thing is walking around within this container. It's almost like like these games where the fish are swimming, and you see the fish swimming in the water, and then sometimes you can become aware of the water because you see the contrast. So too is we are in an oxygen tank, and it's made out of the four elements. What's the point? The point is to get back to Chatzos, to get back to exactly 12 o'clock. Hamtaka means the hamtaka, the sweetness of judgments, is at the source. It means that you have to go to the source. If you want to open up the knot, you have to go to the source. Pull it until, otherwise you get distracted and pull too much and you can't open it. You get knotted. It's a stronger knot. So Hamtak Sedin and B'Sharshim is that once 12 o'clock came and there was this truth that landed in Welt, Makkah's B'Chodesh, He sent out the Eden from Mitzrayim, from Egypt. In other words, the screen through which we would see things, the whole world saw things. At that time, that truth got exposed. There was a crack, there was a bust, the economy collapsed, everything. So there was a truth that happened. So as we're going into this process over here, we have Vayasev Elokim derech hamidbar, that Elokim took the Yidden around derech hamidbar, which is in Afar. We're going into sand. We're going into sand. Yes, sand, and really doing the avodah from that part, from the Afar part of the person, the Afar part of the physical. That's how we're going to touch the Afar part. That part that takes one out from Chamisha Asher Ba'av, takes one out from the heartbeat, takes one out from the Eitz HaChaim, from the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, knowing that is life. Life is not how heavy one is, how light is. Life is how light one is, and drawing sustenance from the Eitz HaChaim, which means intellectual things and seeing the meaning and the depth of everything, bringing the truth into everything, seeing the potential in everything and looking for the mystery. But the other side of Afar is this heaviness where how much did I acquire, how much do I have, and it's the whole value system built around this. There should be shefa and abundance, unbelievable, ad b'li dai. But what's the heaviness behind it? That is the offer. So we went into the midbar, and in the midbar we started the membes masas, 42 shemab, the thing that lifts everything, that raises everything up, on a b'koyach. That raises all the tefillahs, it takes it up. For those who know how to say it, how to do it. But even if you say it just like that, because the next level takes it up to the next one. If it is makasha to the tefillahs of tzaddikim, they take it up. This on a b'koyach, or the other on a b'koyach. Anyways, is offer. So when you walk, what does it feel like when you walk around in offer? What does it feel like when you are in Afar, in a sandbox, you're covered in sand, beach sand, just feeling that we're going back to Afar, Afar Tashuv, that is the texture, and in there, the person just disintegrates, it becomes os, it becomes no more. So there was something that appeared to be so physical that it can never disintegrate, it can never decompose, and all of a sudden, it decomposes, and not only does the skin decompose, the heaviness, in other words, we're looking at it from a place of offer, which is, it's a heavy physical thing. It's full of metals, it's full of whatever else they put into the foods, and that's part of it. It is what it is. Even if you go healthy, it's still, not what it was. So you have now the body decomposes, and also this very physical bone that is so physical that it breaks, and it takes sometimes a long time to heal if it breaks. That thing also decomposes completely back into, as you said, only one part stays, the loose. This is that one piece, the chip that has the code in it. So we're going through the midbar, Yasvalikim derech hamidbar, and we are, cleaning the heaviness. And from there is Vasham Hoilech Efneim Yom Ba'amad Anam V'Layla Ba'amad Aish, that at night there was a cloud made out of fire. What does it mean, a cloud made out of fire? Well, can you imagine? Can you imagine you're in the desert, it's pitch dark, and all you see is this Amid Anan, which means it's a malach, it's the Varavaya, and it's just hovering above you, made out of fire. What does it feel like? Staring into a cloud made out of fire in the middle of the night, pitch. There's nothing there but stars and then the cloud, which was covering, and then they're seeing everything through this cloud, made by Amid Aish. Amud fin Eish. Amud. Okay. Amud. Amud. Okay. Beseder. From there we have Vayelech Hashem Asiyam Beruch Kadem Aza, which is a strong wind as they were continuing on the journey, and the Mitzrayim were chasing, and it was time to split the sea. And Ruach Kadem Aza came, this tornado, strong winds. So we have the Ruach. We have this massive Ruach is coming through, split into 12, and it just cut the sea into 12 pieces, into 12 separations, not pieces. 12 separations sounds better. And it created a wall. It was a type of a ruach, a type of wind that froze the water, and it kept it standing. Imagine the level of presence of light that has to be to freeze water, to have them stand and not move. The type of truth that that had to be present, that even the water that seems so, free spirit, it just goes, it's water, it flows, and it's loving, it's kind, it's good. And even that, as this yichud happens, where this ruach kadem azah, this wind, the light comes through, it just stands in awe. It stands, and it's able to see that truth. And how did it happen? As this wind came, it connected. It rose up. I guess a tornado was spinning, going up ad leva shamayim. I don't know how tall that thing. I don't know how tall that, from how high up that ruach kadem was coming from. No clue. But it was bringing the water all the way up to from where it started spinning. Like a car wash, it has that horizontal beam running across, and out of that comes 12 sprays that has the power to hold the water up. Okay, but really, to feel that, to understand that is the cleansing, that is the cleaning, that is Kriyas Yamsuf. That's the type of work needs to be done to go through the Yamsuf, to go through Malchus, to go through the illusion. I'm saying illusion. Chassidus uses the word illusion. It's not an illusion. It's real, but it's not like it's an illusion. No, we're here. It's just the reality that we look. We see through layers of plaque, layers of distortion. That is an illusion. And that illusion is created by para, created by the day-to-day struggles, which is alata mesapeches, which means in this case that it doesn't stop spinning. It's the same spin over and over and over again. It changes one letter, so one siruf, so now it has a different. Now it's with that person, and now it's about this problem. There's always it's the same thing. It's alata mesapeches, and going through the four elements of cleaning. Mindfulness. Now again, I don't know who is there, but I'm saying where it's at. How the Chassidish Surim are explaining this, of what's happening in Kriyas Yamsuf. And then we're going into Malchus, right? Offer. Yeah, because you're going through the Yamsuf. I'm sure there's a pasuk there that we can bring more to offer, but really the offer is Malchus. Man, I don't need. This is the pasuk. Kriyas Yamsuf. We're walking through Ra Shivcha Le'am. The Ashivcha was able to saw what the Navi Yecheskel did, Ben Buzi. He wasn't able to. What he couldn't see, which means that there was a level of truth, because there was such a presence that even the water stood. The water was holding up. Even the water was holding in place. Now imagine feeling that in the body when you see such a thing. Like you see the crazy shocking thing in your life, and here's like, what is this? Like it's just standing, and it's just the vibration, and there was fruits, there was everything happening there. So when you're in that level of presence, you're walking through Malchus, you're walking through earth, you're walking through. Um, there's a different reality. It's stepping into a different reality, stepping into a different picture. You know, when you go to the eye for the eye exam and they find the number, but then they just click, like one, two, they click one, two, three, like switch, switch, switch. It's a slight change, but much clearer. And then no, here's foggy. This is what we're talking about, but like a completely different upgrade, which is removing the layers, removing the distortion of what's not allowing the message to be seen or heard or felt, because not even knowing how you're supposed to understand it, where you're supposed to get this from, which angle am I supposed to understand this, what am I even looking for? So with Kriyas Yamsuf, there is a mahalach to be mizbeiner, to meditate on these on the four elements, and offer, yeah, removing the offer, removing the offer. In other words, when the light is the vibration is so high that the water is standing up, the water is holding up, so too the offer is becoming one, becomes saturated, becomes one. So um, it's not that you see better, you see something completely different. Uh, Completely different, because there's also presence, which means there's machshava, there is feeling and being in the body. What am I seeing? What am I feeling with that I'm seeing? So let me see one more thing. We have the one thing that we offer. It's important because it's a complete, yeah. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place. You know, the pain has to be gone. Sometimes there's a rawness in the nerve system from all the the struggles, the life generational. There's just the nerve system is programmed in a certain way. But there is a chance to heal because you didn't really go through the pain. A lot of it is just generational. It's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, 4 generations. So now at this point, you're not really feeling your nervousness. You're not really feeling the anger. You're not really fully, you're not. It's there because that's what you know how to do. But then deep inside, there is a deep calmness and a deep healing. There's a deep presence of that you can just tap into. That is when the afar is becoming more upgraded. How does that happen? So you have, yeah, I think it becomes more upgraded by simply feeling the ruach of the how the water was holding up the Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the sea. What does that feel like? Where would you feel that if you saw such a thing? I think center chest, also in the stomach. It's just it's a deep core truth, because how it works is because you're tapping into something deeply true. So you're feeling it deeply true within you. It's kaman lapanim, right? By going to that level of amuna and going there and surrendering with your curiosity, what that would feel like if you were encounter that, you can tune into that and feel that in the body the same way. It hits you in the same space where it's coming from. All right, play with that. Um, okay. Yeah. Have an awesome Shabbos. I just want to do one more on the month. I'm going to follow up with another one. Good Shabbos.